All right, welcome to this episode of the GymInformer podcast. I'm Chris Gilbert, your host for this episode, and today we have Anthony Zangara, the owner of Grind Gyms in the Baltimore area. Welcome, Anthony. I've been to both of these gyms. I've been to the one in downtown Baltimore multiple times. I'm excited to talk to you about it. But before we get started, let me show you some photos that I took while I was at these gyms. That way you know what we're talking about. All right, Anthony, if you don't mind, I want to talk about both gyms, and I want to talk about them separately. I know that the one in Harford County just opened, but if we start out talking about the one in Baltimore, because this is honestly, from an atmosphere standpoint, one of my favorite gyms that I've ever been to. But can you kind of give us like a background or like an evolution? Like, how did you come about like owning this really cool gym down in the harbor?
Yeah, I appreciate it. First, it's really cool to be on here. We took the gym over about 6 years ago in the Inner Harbor. My business partner and I, we've always wanted to open a gym, so we've always had our eyes peeled for the right space. And came across this space. It used to be a Gold's Gym years and years and years ago, and then just been sitting collecting dust. And we came across it, and exactly what we needed. So the bones for a gym were still there in terms of the locker rooms, the actual gym space itself. And then we were kind of able to take it from there. And it took a good year or two to figure out our identity of exactly what we wanted to do. But we were just ready with the opportunity when we saw it become available. Saw it online. The next day we were in there taking a look at the space, trying to figure it out. And for anybody that's been, it's cool because it's, right in the power plant. You have waterfront views when you get upstairs there. But when we first took it over, we really had no idea what the hell we were doing.
Oh yeah, it's super cool. Like, I've talked to some other people about it, and they're like, wow, like that's like the perfect space. And I love how you guys have the have all the cardio equipment facing the window. So if you're on the treadmill, you're looking at the harbor. Like, that was an ingenious move.
Yeah.
And then the giant photos that you have of the trainers and other people that work out there, I haven't seen that in any other gym. Not to that level.
Yeah.
Was that something that you guys came up with? Was that something you saw somewhere else?
Yeah, we spent months trying to figure out what to do with the core of the gym. And what we want to do is we don't have the nicest equipment. We don't have top of the line brand new stuff. It really is more about half the old school stuff and half when you walk in there. We just want everyone to feel motivated, see images of people working out that are in the gym, not just like stock photos or the cheesy, not to call them out, LA Fitness, someone bicep curling in an orange background kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. That's almost
so we got our photographers in there, and they just got members in action. Really cool to see. And then we blew them up on the board so everyone can see it. And the other cool thing is, like you said, with the windows, we call it golden hour, but it's sunset. The sun sets on the harbor there, and it lights up the entire space.
Cool.
Always absolutely beautiful in there. Yeah. And something really cool.
Yeah.
We want to do something for members, really discipline them and get them excited to come in and just be motivated.
Yeah, I know the first time I was there, I was working out and I looked over. I'm like, wait, I hadn't even really paid attention to the pictures. I'm like, wait, I think it was one of your trainers, and I was like, she's right there working out, and she was just in there working out.
Right, yeah.
And then I saw two or three people. I happened to be there. There happened to be exactly when I was there. 2 or 3 people that were up on the wall. I'm like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
So it just, I hit it at the perfect time, and there were a bunch of people there that were up on the wall, and I'm like, this is super cool. This is such a great idea.
It's all about the community feel of it for sure.
Yeah, the equipment in there is mostly hammer strength. You've got some new stuff that I saw the last time I was there. Was there a thought process behind going with the hammer strength equipment, or was that what was readily available? Or
It's kind of like the not reinvented the wheel. Like we know it
Mhm.
works. Hammer strength is just that old school stuff where it's not many pinpoints of the fancy stuff that can go wrong. I think a lot of times with equipment, a lot of equipment's good, but a lot of times they overdo it with top
Mhm.
of the line stuff. And the hammer strength, we just have known has been a staple for decades. So we went that as a staple for the bodybuilding stuff. And then really, because we weren't, corporate guys or anything, or had like a big bankroll or money to start this thing. So we really had to invest as we grew. So it really
Right.
was, picking up a piece here, picking up a piece here, slowly adding more things, buying some new stuff, sourcing some used stuff. And as we grew, we would kind of source things together, but it was mostly hammer strength for the bodybuilding stuff. We have just normal cable machines, same thing, Life Fitness, and then for the CrossFit stuff, we still have the Rogue Rig and all the good platforms, and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I saw that. And then you had a new line last time I was there that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah,
Um,
that's an Italian
only a
line. I'm
few
gonna
pieces.
butcher the name, but it's a kind of something that we were just testing out in there with the company, and it's kind of like a pin driven by your body weight with the machines, and definitely aesthetically they look great, and kind of a different stimulus.
Yeah, it was a cool. They were cool looking pieces of equipment, and then I got on and tried them out. I'm like, oh, I've never seen these before, so I wanted to, obviously try them out.
Right,
Because
right.
I hadn't seen them in any other gym, so maybe it's
Yeah.
the new and upcoming fad or the new thing coming
Yeah, I know
around.
it's big in Europe, and we just had a connection to check them out and bring them in there. And it's definitely it's interesting stimulus because it's not cable driven. It's not a plate loaded thing. It's kind of based off whatever the weight is and whatever the math is of that person that's sitting on the machine. Um, and then the other stuff is we just kind of have some unique off brand equipment that a lot of gyms will have too, but the reverse hypers
Right. Yeah.
and different strongman equipment and apparatus.
Right. Yeah. And I saw you. You guys just had Jesse in,
Yep, yeah.
adding
Yeah,
some
Jesse's
extra
in
appeal to the atmosphere.
yeah, him and Alex come by and it's cool because if anybody knows, we're kind of like uh, a speakeasy gym. We're not jam packed and crazy with people. It really is like you can go there and our busy time, maybe 30, 40 people. But if you're going off hours, you got the gym to yourself. You have your privacy to do whatever you like. So that's why a lot of people like to come to it.
Yeah. The first time I was there, I had to turn the lights on, so
Yeah, right. Yeah, for real.
that was
It's
like,
definitely a community members of chipping in with everybody.
yeah, I know. And you're starting, like, the name is starting to come around, and people are starting to like look. Thankfully, people are starting to like really get to know who you guys are and get to know the gym down there. Because the first time I went, I was like, "Have you seen Grind?" And they're like, "No." Like, and now I ask people, like, "Oh yeah, man, that gym's awesome." So
That's
I
really
think
cool
the
to
word's
hear.
out. Like, everybody understands that you guys have created like a really cool atmosphere down there. And now when I ask people if they've heard about the gym, everybody's like, "Yeah, man, that's a cool gym. I'd love to work out there all the time."
Oh, it's definitely cool to hear.
So
Um,
now the Harford County gym.
yeah.
What made you guys decide that that was the spot for the second location, or to even open
Yes.
a second location?
Yeah. So we live up here. The one thing with the city gym is it's you're in the city, so parking's always tough. Usually our members are living within a few miles of us that can bike and scooter or walk over. And so we live up here in Harford County. Personally, we knew that the area needed a gym like this. Mostly up here, it's just the health clubs, the corporate gyms, and the small franchises. And so we've been looking for a year and a half plus before this, and uh, found a space. Took a while to get it and figure out the logistics with it, and then it was kind of all steam ahead. And then so far, we've only been open about a month and a half, but definitely a good showing by the community, good support, and people. The reception's been great for people, you know, kind of letting us know that there was definitely a need in this area for it. So it's been cool to see.
Yeah, the day I was there, it was pretty busy. Not like packed, but
Yeah.
it was still there was a decent amount of people there. Everybody was excited that you guys were there. Everybody was loving the gym. So that was good. And it's a very different gym than the downtown gym. It's more of
Yep.
a I feel like it was more of a traditional bodybuilding style gym with the blacked out walls and the a little bit of motivational stuff on
Yeah.
the wall and the old school equipment. You had some really cool old school pieces in there. So, what was the thought process on the pieces, the equipment that you chose for that gym?
Yeah, it was. We had a list of everything we wanted to check off of every piece of equipment, and then really it was when I say we put our life savings into the second gym, we really took everything from the first one, we rolled it into this thing, and we just risked it all. So we were down to the nitty gritty, every single penny of trying to maximize what equipment to get. But we started off with the bullet list of all of our must haves, and then we really went from one starting off literally on Facebook Marketplace up and down the East Coast, trying to source that equipment. The main pieces like the Rogue racks and a lot of other stuff is we got brand new just from the manufacturer. But
Hmm.
we wanted to have a decent selectorized circuit to hit every single muscle. So if somebody comes in, they're not, you know, intimidated by the gym, not really sure what to do, they can at least hit a pin loaded machine for every muscle, get in, get out, not have to worry about it. And then we want
Right.
to do the same thing on the plate load side. Still hammer strength for most of our main pieces, and then we wanted to have those unique pieces too. So we were constantly looking for instance, we have a 180 vertical press in there, which kind of critique for bodybuilders. Um, have reverse hyper, a couple other like interesting pieces, and thankfully we crossed everything off the list that we wanted to, and we're gonna be adding more and more stuff as we grow, just like we did downtown.
Yeah, I was doing legs that day, and that Body Master hack squat was super cool. I love that
Yeah,
piece. That was
that thing is
one of
hard.
the better hack squats that I've ever used. I love the angle of it, and I mean the way Body Master used to create stuff is just it's hard to beat that old school stuff. And then that I don't remember the leg press that was sitting right next to it. That one it had a really cool like muscle connection, or the strength curve on it was really
Right,
good too. And I know it was an older piece.
right. The that body masters is it's a heavy piece and a tough piece. That thing is that angle
Oh
makes
yeah,
it you can have no weight on it. It's a workout.
oh yeah. I barely had any weight on it at all, and I was like,
Yeah,
and you can get and the
yeah,
way the angle is, you can get really deep. So
yeah.
because a lot of hack squats, it's like it's put so much in your knees, and that one I'm like I can get really deep, and the angle's perfect, and I don't have to put much weight on,
Right,
and I'm getting a really good feel. So that was a find. So
right. Yeah, that
yeah,
was I'll tell you what, one workout is moving this equipment in.
I
I've
can't even
got a lot
imagine.
of cardio and lifting with all this stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Yeah, it was yeah, I thought the gym was great, and it was cool how you guys have created like two bodybuilding gyms, but two like different feel bodybuilding gyms. So I know, and that was cool.
Yeah.
So what's next? Are you guys happy with where you are? Is there going to be a third gym, or are either of the gyms going to get bigger at some point? Like, what's the future for Grind?
Yeah, I mean, we have a ton of ideas. We're going to be constantly adding more stuff to the new location and revamping the downtown one as well. And the cool thing is members get access to both locations, so you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Oh, cool.
Um, we're going to be looking to slowly implementing more equipment at the Hartford County location. We're going to be looking to do the same thing at downtown. And if you look at the Hartford location, we have that wellness room, which has been
Mhm.
great reception with that. So you got the infrared sauna,
Right.
traditional sauna, steam sauna, and the cold plunge. And we really want to take that concept and add it to other gyms with it, because those are just small amenities that go such a long way for members. And
Oh,
most
100%.
gyms or most wellness centers will charge, $30 for a cold plunge. They'll charge to rent out to infrared sauna. And so we want to just have all these amenities and all these recovery options for free for members to use, and have that at both downtown, here, other gyms, and then make it just not just a gym, but gym wellness. We always say if someone wants to come out and hang out and relax and get on the Wi-Fi and eat some lunch, do it. Like, don't just treat it just like a gym. Use this as like your space. It's your space as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So you're saying other gyms. Am I hearing that there might be a third Grind gym in the future?
We're all out there. 100% will be. Not sure where or when, but we're always keeping our eyes open for it. Always ready.
That's awesome. You guys have done a great job with the first two, so I'll be excited to get out whenever the third one opens, or if and
Hell
when
yeah, I
that
appreciate it,
happens,
Chris.
and
Yeah,
review that one.
that'd be awesome.
Now, one of the things we always like to finish up with is you guys have now owned 2 gyms. You've opened 2 completely, like, not completely different, but 2 different feeling gyms in different ways, because you took over one that was already the space there. And I feel like that the one in Hartford County, it was kind of a blank space when you took it over, right?
Yep. Yeah. It was a mechanic shop before.
Yeah, and you guys built that whole space. So you've got a lot of experience. Is there any advice that you would give, a piece of advice or some advice you would give to someone who's thinking about owning a gym or wants to own a gym someday?
Definitely. One, it'll be 10 times more expensive than you think it will be because I thought it was much easier in the beginning. And 2, it's going to be, and I kid you not, and I'm sure everyone says it, 10 to 100 times harder than you think it will be. There's so many roadblocks from conception to actually opening day that you think that aren't going to be in the way that are. I mean, just small to big problems that seem like there's no chance of opening. And as cliche as it sounds, like you got to keep finding different angles of ways to figure out that you have enough runway to get open with that. But the biggest thing is to not stop. Like, as long as you're set on it and you have a good business plan, you know the market needs it. I always say is I trust the product we're going to deliver. Like, as scary as it was for us to do this, I knew this is exactly what I would want in the gym. So I knew if I would be loving and enjoying these things and doing these things, I knew that other people would do it too. What was it? Rick Rubin. I saw his podcast on Rogan. He was talking about if you build something for yourself and think about the audience after that, most likely that's the better product, because when you do something selfish for yourself, other people are going to like it rather than think about building something that they might want. And
Oh yeah, totally.
That's why I try to make the gym as much as I wanted to.
Yeah, yeah. I hear that from several people. Like, I've talked to we've talked to a few different people on the podcast about, like, old school bodybuilding gyms. Like, I built the gym that I'd want to work out in. So
Yep, yeah,
exactly. That's great advice. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on, and we look forward to what's going to be next for Grind Gyms. And it was awesome. So thank you.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, Ton. No joke, it's really fun, and we'll do another one when we open that third one.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely have to bring you back on. So thank you.
Hell yeah.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more great content.